All right, well, let's talk about Ratchet and Clank now. How familiar were you with the game, and is that why you wanted to make this movie?
I was familiar with it. I started in video games when I first came down and started working in the industry. I'd had like an animation training, I guess, and I just started working in video games when I came to California. And so I started working at the company that made Earthworm Jim, and we just started developing. And that's whenever Ratchet and Clank was coming out during my tenure there. So I was very much in a gaming kind of frame of mind, and I loved it. It was everything that they had started at Shiny, the whole comedy, character based, and then Ratchet just took it and blew it off the charts. And it's just like like Sheepinator, all those things were just so much fun. And so I was a fan, but I probably signed on just because it was the story that they were trying to tell. There's a very real human story, even though these are like ridiculous creatures that you would never think would have, like, you have no connection to them as characters because they're an alien, Lombax, but finding that human core in it, that to me was the thing. It's like the turtles. It's like they're mutated, they're turtles, they live in a sewer, but if they're brothers before anything else, that's whenever you have a story out to tell, right? And so that's what it was with this.
Are there any significant differences between the game and the movie versions?
As in the new game coming out?
You can speak to both, or just in general.
What it was is the movie is a retelling of the origin story that we learned in the first Ratchet game, but sort of put through the filter of the world that they've developed since that first game. I know tonally they were sort of trying to hit the mark on the first one, and I think they really hit their stride on that second one, and then that's been what the franchise is. So I think, even speaking like to TJ, the original writer, they've always been trying to figure out how to reconcile this whole big world that they've developed back at a time whenever they did an origin story that now can be just so huge. And so it was a matter of taking that, and this was a chance for them just to go back and tell that story. So that's sort of, there's a great sort of parody with that now in the new game. The idea of getting two different point of views. You get Quark's point of view of the entire game, which is great. That frees you up narratively just to go anywhere you want. And then the movie is sort of it's the Ratchet audience version. So it's really fun.
Live action video game movies haven't obviously had a great run of luck. Do you think that animation is where video game adaptations should just embrace that?
I think that it just depends on what it is. I think with Ratchet is a perfect example of, yes, I think there's a bump that you get whenever you just change the way Mario Brother or Crash Bandicoot. Like, what if you try to do a live action Crash Bandicoot? It could work, but it's not Crash Bandicoot that everyone's fallen in love and has sold tens of millions of copies. So there's a real chance for this to be something that's true to the origin. And I think really the reason why a lot of them fail is that I think the productions just get in the way of themselves. I think it's overthought. Like the idea of there's a tone with a game or anything that's a fan, even if it's Pogs or Garbage Pail Kids or whatever it is, there's something in it that people love. And so your job is to find that DNA of what that is and then put it onto a new medium. And Ratchet was perfect for it because the whole thing just felt like a movie to begin with anyway. So it's just a matter of just sort of bringing the movie out of the source material.